The Euros, on my personal point of view, it meant a lot because this is where I start really earning my place in the French national team in the starting 11 in 2000. And of course, we managed to win that competition. And after winning the World Cup, this is why that generation, I believe, is one of the best ever in France, because we managed to win the World Cup in '98 and the Euros in 2000, and to be part of that generation was fantastic. Always dream playing against in the Euros, because one of the best generation was the '84 with Tigana, Platini, Gires, and Luis Fernandez, and they won the Euros in France, and Platini was the best player, the best goal scorer, and that generation had a massive impact on young players at that time, because they were fantastic football players, and always when you're dreaming, you dream about playing that type of competition, and I was really lucky to play some of them and to manage to win one of them, so that was really good. It was really important because, of course, when you managed to win the World Cup in France, we were the best team at the time in the world, and winning the Euros, people say that winning the Euros is more difficult because you have a bigger teams, and it is more difficult to win the Euros, and we managed to win it straight away after the World Cup. I think that was a sign of our really special generation. And when you look at all the national team who managed to win the World Cup and the Euros, they are special talent in that team, and I think that generation is part of one best generation ever, not just in France but in worldwide. I think what was really special from '98 to 2000, we had all the ingredients to be successful. We had experience, we had players who were at the peak of the games, we had young players who was coming through who had fantastic talent and really wanted to show that talent, so there was competitiveness inside the group, and we had Zinedine Zidane, who is one of the best players in the world. And I think when you have all this type of ingredient, you became successful. But really the strength of that generation was a desire to compete. We had players who were ready to go to fight to win, because there was really hunger of success, and players who realized that was a special generation, and they didn't want it to go through that generation with not winning something, and when everybody put in the effort together, that was fantastic, and this is what we have to try to do here. It will take time, yes, but I strongly believe when you look at the city of New York, you have some fantastic young players coming through. We should manage to find the best talent in the city to bring him to our football club, to develop that talent. And I strongly believe in the next few years this football club will be really special. A massive impact, not just in France, but I believe in all Europe, with what's going through to the world, what's going through at the moment in Europe. I think football can bring people together. Is the moment of joy. Everybody is speaking the same language when it's time to play football. And I hope that will be a success on and off the field, that people will go, people will enjoy themselves, people will have a good time. We're going to watch a really good football matches, and France will show to the world how fantastic country it is. So I think France, after the success that they had, went through a really difficult period, where some young players coming through, and it was difficult for them to find their space. But I believe that with the new manager, they managed to build a strong team with good values, and they managed to make those young players understand how important it is to play for the French national team, what it means to wear the French national team shirt, and I believe that Didier Deschamps managed to put some really important rules around the French national team, how to live together, and I think when you manage to do that, players find themselves and knows where to stand, and concentrate on play football, and when they manage that to play that way, they manage to win games, and I strongly believe they will have a massive part to play in the Euros because they have talent. I think it's like everything else. I think in the French Federation is a big federation, and I think it's like any type of business. When you have a good leadership, and when that company is well organized, that everybody understands who you are, what you have to do, what is the rules, and then you can work properly. And then, of course, if you don't have any rules, if you don't have any type of leadership, it's really difficult to find what is your responsibility, what you have to do. And I believe that the French national team and this organization went to a period where it wasn't any rules, and when you don't have any rules, you can go in a different way. And they managed to fix that problems. And I think Didier Deschamps, since he moved to the French national team with his experience, he managed to control and to dictate and to put some tough rules in place. And I think that allowed players to express themselves, and that allowed people to understand what they have to do. And now when you look at the French national team, the way they operated off the field is the same way that they operated on the field. And I think when they have a success on the field, obviously they have a success off the field, but it's the same way when you have a success and you are well organized off the field, you are doing what you have to do on the field. I believe that the French national team now is in a different level of organization, and players understand how important it is, and then they go into the field and they express their talent, because it's not about the talent, because French national team and the French always produce players, but I think the structure around that players wasn't what it was supposed to be, and now I think with Didier Deschamps they managed to close all the doors and to work properly. And now you can see how good they are. And players going to the national team, they are happy to go, and they are pleased to play for the national team, and they're showing their talent. I think you always have a team, I think, will surprise everybody. I think when you look at in paper, one of the teams who can do well is Belgium, even if they're missing their captain. I believe that they still have a really good side, a really good team. If they manage to come out of the group stage, they can be one of the teams who can pretend winning the Euros. But then after, you have to count on the Germans. They're always going to be there. They know how to compete. They will be at the best in a tournament. When you look at the big tournament in the last 10, 15 years, the Germans always managed to go to the quarterfinal or the semi-final. And I believe they're going to be there again. And Italy as well. Italy, you don't know what to expect, because they've been losing a lot of players in the last few years. But the Italian as well, they know how to compete. They don't need to play well to win games. But and of course you have the Spanish as well. They have got so much talent, and I believe that they will be there as well, the last four. So you're going to see again the same type of nation, I believe, in the end.